Some of the most interesting animals at the zoo are the ones that live in the water. Like this polar bear, some are equally at home on land and in the water. And sea lions are more comfortable in the water than any place on land because their bodies are suited for swimming. This huge walrus is much too heavy to get around easily on land, but in the water, it's as graceful as a mermaid. But of all the animals at the zoo, none are more life in the water than these. Nemo, Shauna, and Angie are not fish. They are bottlenose dolphins, and dolphins are mammals.
That's Nemo and Shauna up in the center. They're going to help everybody cool off. Angie's out after her blue and white ring to warm up a little retrieving. We like to start the show like this to get a good idea as to what kind of mood the animals are in, and also to see how their appetites are going to be for the rest of the session. A blue baseball bat goes out for Nemo, a white ball goes out for Shauna, and Angie is back in once again with her blue and white ring. But watch the white ball that Shauna has. She comes in here very carefully, and she's very ladylike and polite, and she grabs it between her flippers and hands it back to him. Angie's the oldest animal here at Seven Seas Panorama. She's about 22 years old. Angie's a full-grown female. She's about 10 feet long and weighs a little over 400 pounds, which is a good average size for a female of this species. Nemo and Shauna are much younger. At their age of about 6, they're both about 7 feet long and weigh in the neighborhood of 350 pounds. Also, it'll be another 4 or 5 years before we can refer to them as adults. Dolphins don't reach full maturity until the ages of about 10 to 12 years old. So there's still a couple of kids who just like to swim around and have a good time. We'll stay with retrieving for a moment longer. We'll be tossing a couple of sailor caps out. One for Nemo, right out in front of us, and Shauna's goes way out to the trainer's right-hand side. They both have to bring those in. And watch out for Angela. We forgot to warn you that if Angie thinks nobody's paying attention to her, she's got a funny way of reminding people that she's still around. Here come Nemo and Shauna once again with their caps. We're going to help them straighten out. They both think their sailor hats look much better on the end of their snout. Angie comes up and splashes. And say hello to Nemo and Shauna. Dolphins are mammals, as are the rest of their relatives in the whale family. And you might be aware that we define mammals by saying they have hair, they bear live young, and mothers give milk. Well, dolphins actually have all three of those. As far as hair goes, we know that their ancestors at one time had hair because when a young dolphin is born, on the tip of his snout, you find a number of hard white stubbles of hair. And this is all that's left over of what once a long time ago was a complete fur covering over the animal. But to aid in its swimming speed and its ability to move through the water, nature has removed that covering and made the animal's body very smooth and slick. Probably the only drawback that the dolphins have is the fact that they're still creatures of the surface. They live in the water, but they need the air to live and breathe. And it looks like it's time for a little basketball. Angie will be heading out for the girls' side this morning. Angie's pretty good at this game. She can shoot just about as many baskets in a row as she wants to when she puts her mind to it. Well, all right, Angie says she slipped on a wet spot, so we'll let her come around and try it again. You have to remember the ball is round as so is her head, so she got it up with a funny shot. The pool that our dolphins live in holds 190,000 gallons of water. And since we're quite far away from the ocean, our problem is to maintain the water similar to what they would normally live in. Through this filtering system behind me, we can add salt and smaller amounts of other chemicals, which makes the fresh water coming in very roughly like ocean water. Every 2 hours, the water in the tank is cleaned out by flushing through the filter system. The system has been successful. It's been going for 18 years, and it's kept the animals healthy and happy and in good condition. We're going to get ready for a little game of tetherball. That yellow ball will be dropping down off the ceiling, and the idea is for each of the dolphins to come up and hit it with their snouts. It starts to... Angie's up with the first touch. Nemo comes up for the second. Shauna gets a look at it too. And as you watch them play this game, it should give you a pretty good idea as to what kind of eyesight these animals have. A dolphin's vision is excellent, both under and above the surface of the water. We're going to take one more shot on the tetherball. Nemo gets the honors this morning, and we'll move it out of the way, and right about now, everybody stop. The sounds that you're going to hear are produced through the whole tops of their heads. It's called the blowhole, and it's the only connection that these animals have to their lungs. It's how they breathe. Their mouths are directly connected to their stomachs, allowing them to eat underwater without filling their lungs and drowning. You have to remember that dolphins have lungs and they breathe air, and so for one of the dolphins to catch a cold or other type of disease that has to do with his breathing ability isn't uncommon at all. It does happen. We may start with a general physical examination, which means that we have to get into the water and very carefully take the dolphin out, lay him down on a couple of thick mattresses, and allow the veterinarians to examine his health. At our zoo, we're lucky enough to have 2 veterinarians, and they'll usually take a blood sample because it serves as a good indicator as to the animal's condition. It may require a trip over to the animal hospital. If you suspect a problem in the lung region, it's a good idea to get an x-ray so that the veterinarians can see exactly what the problem is, and that way they have a better idea of how it should be handled. If the zoo veterinarians themselves are uncertain or not sure of how the animal should be treated, there are several veterinarians across the country who are experts on dolphin behavior and health who we can call and receive advice from. But in general, we're always very concerned about their health and condition. 3 hurdles out over the water. Let's see if we can't help them this time by counting the hurdles as they go over. They're lining themselves up. This is 1. Get ready again because this is 2. Lining up one more time for 3. We're setting our hoop up next. We'll be sending Angie in this morning, and what you're about to watch is a very difficult trick to teach a dolphin. Training dolphins is a pretty interesting process. What a lot of people don't stop to think about is that a new dolphin who comes into a performing situation has something very important to learn as its first step. He has to learn to eat dead food. The whistle is a replacement for food at certain moments. Our dolphin leaps high into the air, and at the highest he hears the sound of the whistle, and he immediately knows, this is why I'm going to be rewarded. The second thing that we teach the animals is to follow and use a target. Here we use a short pole with a float on the end of it. We go back to our new dolphin who's learned to eat and has also learned what that whistle is all about, and we take our stick with the float on the end, our target. Dolphins are very curious. At first he'll back off and he'll look at it very carefully, but eventually he'll come up to it and he'll touch it. When he touches that float, we blow the whistle and the dolphin picks up his reward. Jumping through a hoop is a good example of what training is all about because it includes a number of things that the trainer and the dolphin are faced with. Throughout the whole training process, animal and trainer are trading back and forth. The trainer is trying to get the dolphin to understand what he expects to see done, and the dolphin does it in exchange for a reward. All right, let's see if she's ready. She's down near the bottom and she's up and over the top. Flipper animals here so that you can have a good look at each of them. Coming up first is Angela. Angie's 22 years old. She's been here since 1968, performed in well over several thousand dolphin shows here at Seven Seas. This is Nemo, the first of our 6-year-olds. And last but not least, little Shauna. The one you're about to see, 16, there's a tremendous amount of power and accuracy as she raises her 400 pounds of weight 16 feet into the air.